Hey friends, I'm going to give you the top 5 foods you should be eating to get the benefits of a healthy gut. Better mood, a better immune system, more energy, improved sleep, pain relief, and importantly, you can get these benefits without taking expensive supplements. Now, these foods should be easy to incorporate into your existing routine, and I'm going to give you tips on exactly how to do that. Now, I personally have had a whole host of gut issues, starting with celiac disease, but also leaky gut and dysbiosis, or an imbalance of the microbiome. Now, my symptoms were not just the typical GI stuff. Mine were stress, low energy, and the wildest one was chronic inflammation that resulted in debilitating back pain. Now, I've managed to fix these through a focus on the foods that I eat. And if you find this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button to my channel. I'll have other videos that dive deeper into these food groups and the associated research, as well as other helpful health topics. Okay, time for a gut check. Let's get into the what, the why, and the how. Now, let's start with fermented foods or probiotic foods. Now, yogurt is the easy one here. There's also kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi. Now, fermentation sounds weird, but really it just means there's a chemical breakdown of a substance by bacteria, yeast, or other microorganisms in the making of the food. Now, fermented foods have been a part of human diets for thousands of years, dating back to ancient civilizations that discovered fermentation as a way to preserve food. It was a huge, huge deal. Now, these foods are rich in probiotics, which are beneficial bacteria that help balance your gut microbiome. Think of your gut as a garden. Probiotics are like the plants that we want to thrive. Ultimately, we have certain bacteria that we really want to grow. Good bacteria, plants, keep bad bacteria, weeds, in check. Now, mechanistically, they do this by competing for nutrients and attachment sites in the gut lining. And they produce substances like lactic acid that lower the pH and create an environment less hospitable to pathogens. Probiotics also produce substances like short-chain fatty acids, like butyrate, which nourish the cells lining your gut and help maintain its integrity. This is that delicate gut ecosystem or microbiome you're always hearing about. So what's the best way to get these into your diet? Well, my go-to is Greek yogurt in the morning with low to no sugar and some berries. You can also add kefir or yogurt to your smoothies. Just make sure they're low sugar. I also love to add sauerkraut or kimchi to my sandwiches, wraps, or salads, or even grilled meats. Next up, we have prebiotic-rich foods. Things like garlic, onions, leeks, and asparagus are at the top of this list. So what the heck is a prebiotic anyway? Prebiotics are fibers that feed the probiotics in your gut. Prebiotics are a type of dietary fiber that the human body cannot digest. Weird, right? But they play an essential role. Using our garden metaphor for the gut, prebiotics are like the fertilizer that feeds the plants. Prebiotics pass through the upper part of the gastrointestinal tract intact, and they reach the colon. There, they're fermented by the gut microbiota. Our probiotic bacteria have specific enzymes that can break down and metabolize prebiotic fibers. Ultimately, prebiotics are about giving our beneficial bacteria what they want. As a side note, simple sugars and processed foods, that's what the bad bacteria want. So what's the best way to get prebiotics in our diet? Well, garlic, onions, leeks, and asparagus are super versatile, and they can be added to almost any savory dish. Now, I live in New Orleans, and onions are part of the holy trinity of seasoning, and they make their way into just about every dish along with garlic. One easy thing to do is simply roast or steam asparagus. There are other options like garlic sauteed vegetables, or onion-rich soups, or leek and potato stew. Apples, and specifically their skin, are great options as well. Generally, there is little research backing up a lot of those prebiotic sodas you're hearing about, so have low expectations if you're buying them. Now let's talk about bone broth, which is one of my staples. This is another weird one to say and talk about, but it's really not weird at all. Bone broth has been a part of the human diet since prehistoric times, when our ancestors discovered that simmering animal bones produced a nutrient-rich liquid. And when you're scavenging for food, why would you waste any of it? So bone broth is rich in collagen, gelatin, and glutamine, all of which are known to support gut lining integrity and reduce gut inflammation. Think of your gut lining as the fence that protects that garden we've been talking about. Over time, this fence can develop gaps and holes, letting in pests that can damage your plants. Bone broth acts like a repair kit, filling those gaps and reinforcing the entire structure. Scientifically, the collagen and gelatin in bone broth, that helps by providing essential amino acids such as glycine and proline that are needed to repair and rebuild the gut lining. Glutamine is particularly important for gut health because it serves as the primary fuel source for enterocytes, the cells that line the intestinal wall. So what are the best ways to consume bone broth? Well, first of all, soups are the easy one here because they can use bone broth as the base. Now, I'm a bit of a weirdo here, and I'll drink it out of a mug during the day, almost like coffee, especially pre-meal early in the day when my stomach is empty and it's like a sponge. One of my favorite companies is Bare Bones, which actually makes on-the-go bone broth mix. You can simply add to hot water. Now, you can also cook your rice, quinoa, potatoes, or pastas in bone broth rather than water, and it gives it both a nutrition and a taste boost. Next on our list are omega-3 rich foods. These are things like salmon, sardines, flax seeds, chia seeds, and sacha inchi seeds, also known as Incan seeds. Now, I happen to have started a company around this special seed. Now, omega-3 fatty acids have potent anti-inflammatory properties that help reduce gut inflammation. Imagining our gut as a garden again, omega-3 fatty acids act almost like a rich compost, the way it makes our gut stronger and more hospitable to good bacteria. Omega-3 fats are incorporated into our cell membranes. They influence the production of eicosanoids, which are signaling molecules that regulate inflammation. Omega-3s promote the production of anti-inflammatory eicosanoids while suppressing the production of pro-inflammatory ones. Now, this helps by reducing the chronic inflammation that we spoke about, which can disrupt the gut barrier and contribute to various digestive issues. So how best to consume omega-3s? Well, salmon is the one you hear about it, and is certainly the holy grail here, along with other fish like sardines. You can also eat some of the seeds I mentioned, like flax, chia, and sacha inchi, which again is the main ingredient in my company's grassroots snacks. Now, pro tip here, you can add any or all of these to a salad with sauerkraut and some fibrous vegetables, and even some apple slices. And you can get your probiotics, your prebiotics, and your omegas at the same time. All right, finally, let's talk about fibrous vegetables. So this is broccoli, Brussels sprouts, artichokes, and sweet potatoes, which I absolutely love. These veggies are high in fiber, which not only helps keep your digestion regular, but it also acts as a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. Think of fibrous vegetables as the soil in your gut garden. Now, they have two types of fiber, both serving different purposes. There's insoluble fiber, which does not dissolve in water. Now, this adds bulk to the stool, and it helps move waste through our digestive tract. Soluble fiber, on the other hand, in these vegetables is fermented by gut bacteria, and that produces those short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which we talked about before. Butyrate is especially important because it serves as the primary energy source for colonocytes. Those are the cells lining your colon. It also has anti-inflammatory properties and helps maintain the integrity of the gut barrier by reinforcing those tight junctions between cells. So, how best to eat these fibrous veggies? Well, I love making home fries out of sweet potatoes. I'll add artichokes to my salad, or you can roast or saute some broccoli, Brussels sprouts, or cauliflower. These are also great veggies for salads or those soups we mentioned before. Now, you can combine them with the benefits of bone broth and even prebiotic veggies. Now that you've got these 5 food groups, remember that you don't necessarily have to be chugging bone broth every day or snacking on sardines, right? Just try to incorporate these in small doses at first. Make it easy on yourself. Since these foods all have different benefits, try to hit multiple groups at least 2 to 3 times a week. Again, if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button for more on gut, food, and nutrition related topics. I'll see you next time.